first Vineyard National Conference I went to was in Denver, Colorado, 1991, and I sort of had to invite myself to get there. I was excited about it. Lance Pitlick had given me a couple of roadblocks, but finally told me that I could come. And then I wanted to bring my Chilean friends, so they finally agreed to that. We went to the conference. It was sensational. All the guys I'd been listening to were up there leading worship, and it was an open, free worship, and great speakers. And we actually got invited to have lunch, myself, my wife, myself, and 3 or 4 Chilean pastors, because we were talking about becoming a part of the Vineyard, and we also wanted the Chilean churches to become a part of the Vineyard. So we were invited to a lunch with John and Carol Wimber and Bob and Penny Fulton. It was a really amazing lunch. The Chileans weren't impressed with who John and Carol Wimber were. They were just sort of, wow, free lunch, let's have fun. John kept asking questions, and they kept answering the questions. I was a bit of an observer, and it was a great afternoon just to watch how natural it all happened. As we were leaving the lunchroom, Bob Fulton looked at me and said, "We want you to speak this afternoon. We want you to just tell us a little bit about your missiology and what you're involved with in mission, what you think." And I said, "You don't know me, Bob." And he goes, "Well, sometimes we do that." And I said, "Okay." So that afternoon, I shared. And I had been told all for months leading up to this that if we wanted to become part of the Vineyard, it was going to take a 1 or 2 year period. We needed to date and be engaged and then get married and all that stuff. And I just thought, whatever, that's if that's what you got to do. But it was really incredible because after that afternoon that I spoke at the conference, it was only about 10 or 15 minutes that I spoke. Went back to my hotel and I got a phone call from Bob Fulton, and he said, "Okay, Phil," he says, "you guys are in. You can become vineyards. The Chileans can become vineyards, and tonight we're going to lay hands on everybody." And I said, "Well, Bob, what happened to 2 years?" And he goes, "Well, sometimes we do this." I said, "Okay, that works for me." And that night they did. They laid hands on the Chileans and received them in as part of the vineyard. So that was my first conference, and I've enjoyed every one of them ever since.